Hi, it's Andy Bauer here at Object Arts. In this video, I'd like to show you how Dolphin Smalltalk makes use of icons in the IDE, and also how you can use them inside lists and other parts of your application. To do this, we're going to take a look at the way the bouncing balls sample application uses icons, and then we're going to go on and make some changes to see how they can be viewed in lists and other components. Okay, so we have the bouncing balls application running here, and this consists of a number of instances of ball which are being animated around the screen. The balls that you see are actually icons that are being moved around, and if we take a look at the ball class, you can see that it has an instance side icon method which answers an icon that's been assigned to it and installed in an instance variable. But quite often you don't necessarily want per instance icons. You may just want an icon for an entire class, and that's the way by default Dolphin represents classes with icons by means of the icon method on the class side. Now, just so you can see it, I'm going to change the class side icon method here to something else. Let's change it to the presenter icon, which is a blue apple. That's sorry, a green apple. And now if we go back onto the instance side and delete this icon method, we should find that we inherit the method from the icon method from object, which, as you see, answers the class icon. So I shall delete this here now, and you should see now that all of the balls have inherited the class icon. Let me put that back. Okay, now let's try and change the icon of one of these balls, and we'll see how that works on an instance basis. So I'll open a workspace. Let's go ahead and get a list of all the balls. Okay, and you see we've got basically a number of balls in an array. Let's inspect that. Okay, and as you can see, we have an array with a number of ball objects, and we can talk to each one of those. Let's change the icon for the first ball to something else. Let's say, and let's change it to the default object icon. And you should now see that one of these objects has inherited the object icon, or not inherited, but been given the object icon. Right. So that's how you can use icons to represent objects. But how are they actually accessed inside MVP components like lists and tree views? Well, in order to demonstrate this, I'm going to take this list of balls that we have here, this collection of balls we have here, and I'm going to open them inside a list view. So I'm going to say list presenter, and we'll ask for an enhanced list view. And I'm going to show that on the collection model. Okay, and now you see we have a list containing all of the ball objects. Let's now open an inspector on this list so we can play around with it just as we would do if we were setting it up inside the view composer. So I will grab the visual inspector, and I shall point here, and now we have an inspector onto this list presenter. So we can talk to the list view here and change it. First of all, let's set it to non-report mode. Let's set it to large icon mode. And you see here now we have a display of those ball objects, each showing their individual icons. So how is that achieved inside this list? And remember, over here we're looking at the properties of this list, and these are just as they would appear inside the view composer. So The way that a view, such as a list box or a tree view, represents icons or represents objects by icons is by providing a get image block. Now you'll see here that the get image block we have given to this particular list view actually is a class name, iconic list abstract. Now you might say, well, that's not actually a block at all, but in fact we can provide any variable which takes a single parameter. So let's just go and take up the iconic list. Take a look at the iconic list abstract class, and looking on the class side of that, you'll see that it has a value colon method, which will take an object and it will answer its icon image index. And this is the way that the list views and the tree views work. They require an index of an icon inside of an icon image manager. Now you don't need to worry too much about that, because most of the image manager stuff is handled automatically by the icon framework. But what you do need to remember is that what they require is this image index. So let's just go back to this, and let's replace this by something that looks a bit more normal. I will take, given an object, I will ask it to answer its image, its icon image index. And if I accept that, and you'll see that in fact nothing has changed here. These icons are all the same, and so this is actually identical to what we had before. The reason you'll find that most of the views have by default a class rather than a block is that back in the old days, when early Dolphin Smalltalk, the blocks were more inefficient than they are today, and so we did it for efficiency purposes. But now you could just type blocks in here just as with impunity. So let me just change this, and obviously an image index you might expect to be an integer. Let's just make this block here, this get image block for this this list view. Let's make it answer 1. And you'll now notice here that all of the balls have been given the icon, which has been stored in the icon image manager with index 1. Now normally you don't need to know what the index is, because you can just ask any icon for its image index. So we could ask the, for example, we could ask the view class for its icon and just answer the image index of that. And instantly all of the icons change to the icon for view. So this is how we can represent objects graphically inside list views and tree views by using the get image block to specify an icon image index to use to display them. Let me go and put this back to what it was before. Okay, and now normally very often you won't need to change this get image block, because it actually just passes over control to the icon methods on the class or the instance side of the object you're putting into the view. But sometimes you may need to change this if you want to drag the icon from somewhere else. Let's go and take a look at how we represent icons in multi-column lists. If we change the format of this list to a report mode, you'll see that the get image block that we've been using so far is used to represent the image for column 1, unless we actually turn on has column images. If we do that, then control is passed to a different block, which is actually set up in the column itself. So you'll see that we have a column list here, which currently only has 1 column in it. Let's add another column. Okay, so now we have 2 columns. And we have a get image block for each one of these columns. So in order to actually make these appear, let's put in an appropriate block. Let's have the default icon for the first column. And remember, we have to actually answer the icon image index from this block. Okay, and that's now given us images on this column, and we can also go to the second column and we can set the get image block here. I shall just set it to a fixed icon. Let's use the notepad icon, but we've also must answer the image index. Okay, and that's basically how you can set up individual icons for each column in a list view. So I hope that has been a useful introduction to the way you can use icons inside the Dolphin environment.